What if I told you that one of the most famous people in the world built his empire without saying a word? But the real question is, what happens when that silence begins to fade into obscurity? Khaby, once a factory worker, now a global sensation. His story isn't just one of meteoric success, it's also about the fleeting nature of fame. Today, we're diving into the rise, the peak, and the surprising fall of the man who changed the face of TikTok. Imagine losing everything. Your job, your livelihood, and the world around you grinding to a halt. What would you do? Khaby's journey begins with loss. In 2020, the world was in lockdown, and Khaby, like many others, was let go from his factory job. He was at a crossroads. No job, no clear path forward. But instead of succumbing to fear, Khaby turned to TikTok. His first few videos went unnoticed, lost in the digital noise. But then something changed. Khaby wasn't done yet. Little did he know, one simple idea was about to change everything. What makes someone a viral sensation? Is it luck, or is it something more? It wasn't long before Khaby discovered the secret to his success. His videos took off, not because of complex production, but because of their simplicity. He poked fun at life hacks that made no sense, without uttering a single word. His facial expressions, his iconic hand gestures, his quiet, relatable humor, everything came together to create a new kind of viral content. Khaby's fame wasn't just a fluke. His nonverbal communication made him accessible to millions, breaking language barriers and appealing to a universal human desire. We all want things to make sense. Overnight, Khaby wasn't just another TikTok user. He was a global icon. But what happens when the very thing that made you famous begins to feel predictable? What does it feel like to be on top of the world, to have everything you've ever wanted right at your fingertips? For a while, it seemed like Khaby could do no wrong. Brands wanted him, celebrities reached out to him, his follower count soared into the tens of millions, and before long, Khaby became the most followed creator on TikTok. His face was everywhere. His shrug was imitated by millions. He wasn't just an online star, he was a cultural icon. But with fame comes pressure, and with pressure comes cracks. But not all attention is good attention. And soon, Khaby would find himself in the middle of a storm he couldn't shrug off. What happens when the world turns against you, when your every move is under scrutiny, and even silence can't save you? At the height of his fame, Khaby found himself entangled in controversies. Allegations of racism and body shaming cast a shadow over his once clean image. The same audience that had praised his simplicity now questioned his character. Was Khaby a victim of misunderstanding? Or was his rise to fame built on something more fragile than we thought? The public's reaction was mixed. For some, Khaby was still the relatable, silent comedian they loved. For others, the cracks were starting to show. And Khaby himself remained silent. A silence that now felt heavy, even isolating. But the controversies were only part of the story. Soon, Khaby would face an even bigger challenge, one that every viral star must confront: staying relevant. What would you do if you reached the top, only to realize that staying there was a battle you weren't prepared for? Khaby's decline wasn't dramatic, but it was steady. His content, once fresh and innovative, began to feel repetitive. The internet, ever hungry for the next big thing, started to move on. Khaby's follower growth slowed. His videos no longer commanded the same attention. It was more than just content fatigue. TikTok itself was changing. Trends came and went faster than ever. And Khaby, for all his silent genius, struggled to keep up. He tried to evolve, partnering with brands, collaborating with other creators, but the viral magic was gone. Was Khaby's time over? Or was this just the beginning of a new chapter in his story? What does Khaby's story teach us about fame? About the cost of success in the age of the internet? Khaby's rise and fall is more than just a personal journey. It's a reflection of the world we live in today. The internet can make you a star overnight, but it can also forget you just as quickly. Khaby's story reminds us that viral fame is fragile, and maintaining it requires constant reinvention. But perhaps there's a deeper lesson here. Khaby's simplicity wasn't just his style, it was a reflection of how we often overcomplicate life. And while his fame may have faded, the impact of his message remains. Sometimes, less is more. So is Khaby done? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the silent superstar left an imprint on the world that will echo long after the views fade. As we end this documentary, we are left with one lingering question. Will Khaby reinvent himself and reclaim his throne, or will he remain a legend of the past? His journey, from a factory worker to TikTok's kingpin, and now to a creator at a crossroads, speaks to the unpredictable nature of fame in the digital age. But in a world where silence once made him a king, perhaps it's time for Khaby to finally speak. If you like this video, please like, comments your thought, and must subscribe for more interesting documentaries. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.